Because they're anyway, and I won't do to them now because they asked me again and I said no.
Alright, guys, if you don't sleep, we're gonna have to close your doors.
Look at that heavy foot. It's like a heavy foot. Almost broke the tile with that foot. Hey guys. So send in your questions and I'll answer them on the live. This is funny because this is the first time I've ever gone live on. I got 2 people following, two people watching. Because on Instagram I have like 60.
Okay.
Which is like more normal.
Well, you've been doing it like pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Like on Instagram, so.
Yeah, it's every Wednesday now, and I'm like, you know what? People ask for a second day. I'll do it on Sunday at 9, kind of like prep everybody for the week to come, and like, all right, let's go get it, you know? So, but it's not really working right now because I got 0 people. But this one dude, like, he was verified and he was like popular. He was telling Angie or Amy, one of them, he's like, yo, it's depressing, like depression. When you see like you're doing well, then you're not doing well. I'll hit it. I got nobody here. No one likes me. No one likes me. I'm up to actually like 400 followers on YouTube, which for me that's like it's a lot, and at the same time it's like depressing because you're like, what?
Like almost 100,000 on Instagram.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary Vaynerchuk, his fucking wine library shit hardly ever gets likes. So, which I've been care anymore, but still, like if it's like.
But how long have you been doing YouTube now? Like,
YouTube like 2 or 3. No, I'm not. I only have like 30, 40 videos on YouTube, but I'm trying to build it up because, you know.
What's this still work for you?
Only for about another, say, month.
Are you gonna fire him?
No, he's going back to school to be like a PA.
Good.
Hey guys, if you have any questions, send in questions and I'll be happy to answer them.
PA? I've never walked.
It's very hard. That's a good.
Of course it is, yeah. Dude, Andrew had that, like, yeah.
So, for those who don't know me, I'm Pascal, and I answer business questions, real estate questions, credit, tax returns, any questions that you have regarding finance. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Feel free to submit your questions. This is my first live on YouTube. Normally I do it on Instagram. We have a good amount of followers, a lot of great questions.
Oh, a lot of them go islands now. And then
Let's see, because I got some questions today.
What's the answer?
Let's see the questions.
When I was at USF, all the students would cheat. They'll cheat off each other. It's like, what did you really? It's like.
First question is, can you help me be better at getting financial freedom? Yes. Basically, you have to study. You know, read Rich Dad Poor Dad, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Think and Grow Rich, all that good stuff. Books. Next question was, are REITs worth it? And if so, what is the best one? REITs are worth it, but they're like any stock. You have to be able to pick the right one and one that you're comfortable in, the type of real estate you want to invest in, because each one invests in different types. So you have to basically investigate what you want to invest in, what type of real estate, commercial, residential, and then from there, what area you want to invest in. And you pick which one you like. One question says, how do you know me? I don't know. How do you know me? It's funny. Okay. Pulling up the next question. Hey, it's Squirrely looking to grow. I'm 18. I'm starting an expensive MBA. Is that a good idea? Usually not, unless you have a corporate job already and they need you to have it. It's usually not the best idea. Spending $80,000, $100,000. But if you're already working and you need an executive MBA so you can move up to the next level, then that would be a good idea. Again, send in your questions and I'll be happy to answer them. You can actually text them on the side. Next question is, how long have you been in real estate? There is some great advice on your channel. Thank you. I've been doing it for 20 years and about 15 years with my own money. So I've been doing it for a minute. Next question is, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Ha, ha. That was my friend. I'm not offering a summer internship at this time. How much did you save to buy your first property at 19? I saved about $35,000, but my second deal I only paid about $8,000 for it. So you don't need to save that much money. How do you calculate water usage? I would pay water and sewer for a property I'm looking at. Normally, in my area, it's about $75 a unit, water, sewer, garbage. That's about $75. But every area is different. Next question is, do you believe and love God? Yes, I do. Next question, are you a tradesman or used to be? And if you was, how did you transition to real estate? So I was doing trade work, getting better and better, saving all my money. Then I went and worked at the bank and learned finance. And that way I kind of grew in the different things I learned and understood. And as I grew, I applied it in my business. And basically saved your money, and then I transitioned to buying real estate and doing the work myself. So that was kind of the transition for me. It says, how would you invest in real estate in high-priced, very high-tax markets for Long Island, New York? All right. So basically, I would try to find properties that are undervalued, and I'll try to find properties that are undervalued and do value-add projects to them and force appreciation. And then, say like in your market, you only get like 6 caps, then you can create maybe 8 caps, 10 caps by doing your value-add. So you have to be creative, and the people who have skill sets with the construction, they would be able to do a lot of work themselves and save more money that way. Yeah, it's really good to see you guys on here. I'm going to keep going through those questions. And again, feel free to put your questions to the right. By putting your questions to the right, I'll be able to answer them. Right now, this is new for me. This is my first live event on YouTube. Next question is, how to ask relevant questions to yourself when self-doubt, anxiety, and patience levels also disturbs. One, I would say, is you should probably do some type of exercising. Running, swimming, jogging. I lift weights, and I practice martial arts. So once you have your body chemistry more aligned, we're animals like any other animal on this planet. We have to be moving. Sitting around all day and studying all day or working at a desk is not how it was meant to be. So you have to get your body moving to get your chemistry in order, your hormones in order. Then from there, sleep right, drink a lot of water. So first, body mechanics, because if your body's not right, your temple's not right, you're not going to be in the right mind. So then from there, I would find out what you're passionate about and invest your time towards it. It doesn't have to be real estate. It doesn't have to be finance or stocks. It could be anything. If you do it long enough and hard enough, you're going to make money. So it's going to come with time. and it takes quite a while before you become profitable in anything you do, right? So, my businesses normally take 3 to 5 years to become profitable. And that's why they're called side hustles, because you do them on the side while you're working so you can make money to live and then eventually do other things on the side. Which real estate method would you recommend for beginners? The most conservative way, in my opinion, is to basically buy a multi-unit property for you to live in. And when you're living in it, you have multi-units, so you have another tenant paying you money. So then you're covering your mortgage. This is the most conservative way. It's better for you to buy something that needs some work, not major work, but some work that you can do on the weekends. Paint the inside, paint the outside, add some curb appeal. Things that are not very difficult, but things that you can do. And by doing them, you're going to add value to your property. So I'm a fresher 21-year-old, 4 months for my graduation, and after would probably go into real estate. Okay. Don't say a message or a question here. Any advice for someone who wants to buy multifamily in the future? Study your market. That's the number one thing I would say, is studying your market is the most important thing, because a lot of people, they're not winning. It's because they're not buying deals, and that's because they're not comfortable and they're not studying their market. You can read every book possible and everything possible. Unless you study your market, you're not going to know if it's a good deal or not. And then what happens is a deal comes up, they keep second guessing themselves, they don't pull the trigger on a deal. Someone else buys a deal within 2 or 3 days that it's on the market, and then they're mad that they missed out on it, and then won't wait for years until another good deal comes up, which doesn't work, right? So get your feet wet, buy yourself a multi-unit property, even though it's not an amazing deal. If it's a fair deal, get it. Because my first deal was not an amazing deal. It was okay. It wasn't even fair. It was like, But I'm selling it in the future, and soon, the next few months, and I'm gonna make good money off of it, and I made good money off of rent as well. So you're gonna make money over time. You have to just put in the energy and effort. And for whoever put up the thumbs up, I really appreciate that. Thank you. I'm really doing it for you guys to add, to learn and grow and build your financial knowledge and your wealth. So I appreciate the thumbs up. So yeah, but multi-units is the way to go, in my opinion, the most conservative way, because you're living in it one side. You got 3 other tenants bringing you money, and then eventually you can move out and get another 4 units. So now within, say, 2 years, you can own 2 4 units. That's 8 units bringing you in money. And as the country keeps printing money, it's going to make your asset go up in value. Your loan that you owe to the bank is going to go down in value, go down in purchasing power. So you're going to build wealth. So don't worry about loans. They're going to basically, how much money the government's printing, the value of the money you owe, the $100,000 that I got a loan on for something 15 years ago, that $100,000 is nothing compared to what $100,000 was 15 years ago, Let me pull up the next. Again, feel free to punch in your questions to the right or wherever it is on your screen, and I'll answer them. It says, I am 19 years old in college, living in India. Have a startup idea. Do you think it's a good decision to pursue it? I mean, that's such a vague question. I mean, I don't have enough information to say that. But definitely study it. Study and figure out how you would do it if you're going to pursue it. Along the way, you'll figure out if it's a good idea or not, and you'll figure out if you should do it. Either way, you'll pick up the knowledge to create your idea or actualize your idea. And then normally your first idea is not that great. It normally takes a number of ideas before you find the right one. What is it? The creator of Colonel Sanders, the guy from KFC, he didn't make it till he was like 50 or 60 years old. He failed so many times. So, but if you keep on picking up skills along the way, you don't quit, you're going to win. Can you please give me $10K for Christmas? How can I start real estate business investment? It's honestly, it's not that hard. Work a job, bring in your money, save some of that money. It's only 3.5% down. You buy a $200,000 place, that's only $7,000. It's not that hard. And there's a lot of ways where you can get assistance for your down payment. So I got actually a tenant of mine, an old tenant of mine. I told him I would sell him the property he was renting. And I'm selling that property for $200,000 as a duplex. And you're allowed to get a 6% down payment or credit from the seller. It's like $12,000. So basically, I can give him the $12,000 as a credit, and he can use that towards his closing costs to purchase the property. And he only needs about $7,000 in closing costs and maybe $5,000 in fees. So that's $12,000. So basically, he can buy it, live in it, move in it for no money out of his pocket. So it's a lot of ways for you to make it. So I got a question that came in. It says, King Mom. It says, hey, I have $5,000. How can I start off real estate with that? Or how to invest that? So you can, one, invest it in a REIT, real estate investment trust. That's it's like a stock, but it's ownership of a company, and that company owns a whole bunch of real estate. So you can invest that way. Another way that you can do that is save up a little bit more money, and then you could probably find a property that's about $200,000, aim for like a duplex, triplex, or quadplex, and you can live in one side and rent out the other ones. That's another really easy way to do it. If you like that answer, throw a thumbs up. The Trilogy, the question. So next person says his name is The Trilogy. So The Trilogy says, I invested my tuition in a brand new townhouse. Oh, okay. Thanks, King's Mom. You put a thumbs up in the comment. I meant like hit the like button on the video. But thanks anyway. I appreciate it. Like that little like button that's like somewhere on your screen. So the next question is, I invested my tuition into a brand new townhouse. I'm a university student. It's $500,000 house. I don't know how to get a mortgage. Laugh out loud. Tips. So I don't understand your question, The Trilogy. So your question is, you invested your tuition into a brand new townhouse, but how are you going to get the mortgage? How were you able to put the down payment on the on it? Like, how did you put that down payment down? Now, one way you could do it is when it's time for you to actually buy it. There's some people who will just buy the contract from you. So say I'm a builder and I'm building 100 townhouses, and I say, hey, $5,000 down, and you can secure your spot for this townhouse. And when it's ready in a year, you can then buy it. So what people do is in a year, they don't actually buy it. What they'll do is they'll just sell their contract to someone else, because the townhouses were worth $1 million when they originally started, but now they're worth like $1.1 million. So they'll sell their contract for like $50,000, and this way they can make the profit on it. So that's an option too if you can't get the loan, by flipping your contract. If you like the comment or like the answer, hit the thumbs up button. But great questions, guys. You're getting really good questions. All right. Question is, if I buy a property with 20% down, can I sell this property after 1 year as the bank still owns 80% equity? That is correct. When you sell the property in 1 year, that person will get a new loan, and that new loan will pay off the loan that you owed on the property, the lien. It's called a lien on the property. And so say you bought a property for 100, you put down 20,000, the bank put down 80,000 of their money, and you owe a payment every month to the bank for them fronting the 80,000. When you sell it in a year and you sell it for 120,000, what's going to happen is the first thing they're going to do is pay off the bank. They're going to give the bank 80,000 out of the 120, and you get the 40,000 left over. That's how you make a profit in the real estate game. So some people will be like, well, you made 20,000 off of a $100,000 asset. It's not that good because my Google stock went up 50%. And you are technically correct. But think of it this way. you only put down $20,000. And a year later, you made $20,000 in profit. So you actually doubled your money. And that is why more millionaires are made in real estate than anything else, because you get a 5 times multiple on your money on a pretty conservative asset as long as you're buying right. Think about it. You're only putting down $7,000. You can put down as low as $7,000 for a $200,000 asset, where the asset on average appreciates 4% a year. That's $8,000. So that means every year you basically doubled your money. You got $8,000 of wealth built up. The next year, the next year, the next year, the next year. Now again, this is a 4% average. So yes, there is times in the market where it tanks, but then there's times that it skyrockets. And those averages comes out to about 4 to 7%. So it's awesome. So, and then again, if you're getting a home loan, your interest rate is usually 4% or less anyway. So it's not like you lost anything out of the deal. Plus every year, you're paying down the mortgage. Every year, assets going up in value. So you're actually gaining a lot of money. And you're collecting rent. So it's a good win. And again, I do invest other ways as well, but I'm just mentioning real estate because that's the easiest way to build wealth quickly. Next question is, how much streams of income do you have? I have the insurance agencies, tax practice. I have the construction, but the construction only works on my own properties. But that makes me save money, which is like an income. I have the rental business. I have the flipping business, where I flip real estate as well. I have a lot of people count when you pay down your mortgages from the rental business. They count that as income as well. So I do build a lot of money from paying down the mortgages. That's about all of them that I can think of right now. The trilogy asked another question and said, if I live in the house, what are the benefits? It's 3-bedroom. Basically, you get tax benefits. But if you're not bringing in any money, you're not really benefiting from the tax benefits. You do get appreciation of the property. And the big thing you do, since you're in college and I'm assuming you're single, even if you're not single, the person that you're with can live in the same bedroom as you, and you can rent out the other bedrooms. And normally the amount of money you collect from the other 2 bedrooms will cover all of your mortgage payment. So that's normally what signifies it's a good deal. So you're living for free in the 3-bedroom house and you're getting rent from the other 2 tenants or other 2 roommates. Now, I don't prefer single units. I prefer buying like a duplex, triplex, or quadplex, and then having just people living in other units. It's a good way to make money. Best real estate book. Conceptually, would be Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And another good, it's a finance book, you really need to read it, is Intelligent Investor. Best real estate book. I haven't really read that many real estate books, but I want to say Manny Koshman's book. Manny Koshman's book was very good. It's a very good book. I'm trying to think. Most of them I read were about self-improvement and investing in general, because it's actually better for you to learn investing and then apply it to real estate. You don't want to just study real estate alone. Good job, the trilogy. The trilogy just bought the Intelligent Investor book. It is very good. It is written by Warren Buffett's mentor. Thank you. So the trilogy said he would recommend the book Investing for Dummies. King's mom said it's a long book to read. Let's think about this. You do not get taught investing in school. Yet, that is your life. You work to support yourself and your family. You should understand that studying investing in your personal finances is literally like drinking water or eating food. You do that every day. And you should be doing this every day. Now, again, I'm not saying you have to spend an hour, 2 hours, or so on, or 5, 6, 7 hours like Warren Buffett does every day studying. That's literally just reading. But you should apply some time, 15 minutes, something, to educate yourself in your personal finances. Because even if you wanted to do an investment with me, you or anybody, you need to know if they actually know what they're talking about. You can tell if they're telling the truth or if they're lying. And you need to study to be able to tell if the person that's helping you invest knows what they're talking about, or that you can feel comfortable with them. So think of it through that way, and I think you're going to be a lot more. You'll be more likely to invest and to study. I mean. Thanks for all the likes, guys. I appreciate it. This is my first live event on YouTube, so it's different. I'm more used to doing it on IG. I'm on IG. I go live every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Excuse me. So I'll see you guys there too. Thanks for another like. I appreciate that. I feel very chill. It's like 9:30 here. Where do you start in real estate? So I bought an owner-occupied duplex, and I started that way. I find it's the easiest way to get into the game. So King's mom said, at the age of 19, what went through your mind on buying your first duplex? And also, how much did it cost to do repairs and buy? So at 14, I fell in love with real estate. The concept to me was, wait, you own this property and you rent it out to someone else, so they pay you to borrow your stuff? That concept was like amazing to me because I like collecting stuff. The next concept was, wait, you put down like 20%, or you put down some money and the bank put up the rest of the money, and then you took that property and rented it to someone else, and they gave you more money than the bank is charging you for the loan. So I'm like, so then they explained to me, like, this is how much my rent is, this is the mortgage, taxes, and insurance, and this is how much I get to keep after everything. And I was like, wow, this is like mind blown, right? And I was like, this is amazing, right? Why doesn't everyone do this? Why don't you do it 1,000 times, right? Like, there's no stopping at this point. So that's what went through my head when I found that out at 14, and then it took me till 19 to be able to do my first deal. On my first deal, I had about $32,000 into that deal for buying it and closing costs. And then I spent, as time went on, when I brought in some rent money and got some more money from my job, I would go and paint it and do little stuff here and there. Now, my second deal, I didn't do that. It was a bigger deal. It would cost more money to buy, but I only had to put down like $8,000 because I didn't know about the different down payment, different ways of doing it. So I was like, oh wow, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna only put down $8,000 and get another deal. And I sold that property and I made over $100,000 on it recently. I sold it, and so it's a really great way to invest in real estate because again, that $8,000 that I put into the place, $8,000 I put into it. It's like 12 years ago. Then 6 months later, immediately I took out $40,000. So I'm basically in it for negative $32,000, right? I have no money in this deal. Then I sell it 12 years later, and I make another $100,000 off of a property I already had negative 32 in it. Like, this is amazing, right? Like, how many places are going to be able to do that, right? So it's a great way to invest where you get great returns off of an asset that you live in, and then later when you decide you don't want to live there anymore, you rent it out to other people. It's a great thing. Thanks guys for all the likes. So King Mom says, that's crazy. It is crazy, but it's real. Like, It's really real. Like, I sold one property and make 100 on it. I'm selling another property, I'm making about another 100 on it that I bought a few years ago. I'm selling another property that I bought. I'm gonna make another over another 100 on that one. And what I'm now doing is I'm taking the money and I'm not spending it. I'm taking it and I'm doing a 1031 exchange. When you do that, you don't pay any tax on the profit, and you're rolling it into another property. And now that property is not a baby property; it's a bigger property. If I made 100,000 on like a little property over 10 years, if I'm buying $1 million property in 10 years, I'm gonna probably put $1 million out of that property. So then 10 years from now, we're gonna be like, oh yeah, well those 10 properties I bought, I sold each one of them and I made $1 million profit on each one. So what am I gonna do next? I'm gonna go and try to buy a $5 or $10 million property. In 10 years from then, what am I gonna do? 10 mil, 10 mil, 10 mil, 10 mil, 10 mil. Now it sounds crazy, right? You're like, no, it's not possible. If you think that, you already lost. Because you lose first here because you didn't even try. Now, if you say I can do it, then you won once in your head. And what this old saying was, is you win twice. Once in your head, once in reality. So you must think, I can do it. Now again, it could take you 5 years like it took me to do it. But at least you did it, right? So that's on the level that I'm comfortable right now, right? I can be comfortable. I can work when I want to work and not work when I don't want to work. But it's my passion, and that's what I'm doing now. So everyone needs to find what their passion is, or at least you don't have to do it to my level. You can do it to some level so you can build your own financial freedom and build up your nest egg for retirement. Because again, by the time we retire, by the time 30 years from now, 20 years from now, you need like a minimum. 10 years ago, they said the minimum you needed to retire was like $2 million to $2 million, which you would need to retire. And we can get that type of money. Now, I would say probably to retire, by the time we retire, you probably need at least $5 million and to live comfortably. And it's doable. It's really, really doable. But you have to spend. You can't be 50 and then try to plan for it. You can. It's going to be very hard. But if you start planning when you're 30, 20, it'll be a lot easier, because the biggest thing that's going to be in your favor is time. But when you're old and you're trying to start retirement, if you're like 60 years old and you're trying to start to invest at that time, and you're like, oh, I need to make money in the next 10 years so I can retire, next 20 years so I can retire, then time's against you. Time value of money is one of the biggest things that was in my favor. So time value of money means the sooner you start investing in something and it builds interest on top of itself, time becomes your favor because it builds so large. But when you don't have a lot of time, you're going to be down here with the profit. So another crazy thing was the $8,000 that I invested, that I took out $32,000, took out $40,000, so I only have negative $32 in that property, and then still made another $100,000 on that property. That money I did a 1031 exchange into $1 million property. That again, that property, I'm probably going to sell it, at least make $1 million profit when I sell it. Think, $8,000 is what made $1 million in profit, right? And then I'm going to take it to $10 million, $100 million. So that's why the concept of, if you cannot save $1, you can't save 10, 100, 1,000, a million. If you can't manage what little you have, it's going to be almost impossible for you to manage anything more. So I know whatever struggles you're going through, it's tough, but you have to stick it in and be like, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to do it because I'm going to sacrifice these little things that don't mean that much to me, cable or whatever else, or Starbucks, and I'm going to take that money and I'm going to reinvest it, and I'm going to build it up, and I'm going to end up doing something big with it one day. And I'm going to prepare today for that day because I have faith good things are going to come. And you have to have that mentality. That's why reading books that are help expand ourselves is important, and then investing books in general, not specifically a real estate book, because you want to be wise in investing and then grow from there. Great question, guys. And thanks for everyone who's doing the likes. I really appreciate it. Says, what church do you go to? Are you Christian? I go to an Aramaic church, and yes, I am Christian. Your biggest motivation every day? The biggest motivation every day is that to know that we as people have the power to choose to be happy, unhappy, to live the life we want, or let life decide the life we're going to live, right? So, it's, I used to say this a while ago. I said, you can choose what you want to do and choose the problems that come with it, or you cannot choose, and life will choose for you. And you're probably going to not like the negative things that come with it, right? So it's really important for you to just take control, right? Because when you say, my health sucks and my weight sucks and I'm not happy with my body, right? Okay, you can say that, but by you then choosing to eat unhealthy, you're only adding more to it, and you're going to choose all the health issues that come with it that you didn't think about. But if you just say, okay, I'm going to choose to eat healthy, and you're like, oh, this sucks because I have to eat healthy and I have to watch what I eat once in a while, then you're going to choose to be like, okay, I'm dissatisfied, I have to watch what I eat. But at least then you chose that issue instead of diabetes, and say you smoke, cancer, being short of breath. So again, you choose the life you want. And that's what my motivation is, that, man, I want to choose the life I want. I'm going to do this. Like, I always wanted to do martial arts, and I just started doing Wing Chun, because I always wanted to do Wing Chun, and I always wanted to do martial arts, but I never had the money when I was a kid. My parents didn't have the money. And I said, I'm going to do it, And I finally just did it. I was like, this is going to be part of my exercising. This is going to be part of making me just better and keep myself moving. And living that life to know, like, what, I'm doing something I always wanted to do, and I'm happy to just do it, right? Like, I started working out again with Tony Conyers. He's a two-time world champion powerlifter, and I used to train with him back 10 years ago, and I went to states, and I won states, and I got 10th in the nation for powerlifting, and it was an amazing time and experience. I'm very grateful for all that. And I finally went back, and I was training with him again. He's like 62 years old, still crazy strong. And he's like, so what's your goal? You want to start competing again? And I said, no. Honestly, if I compete, I compete. I said, I just want to be doing something I want to do. And I want to be around positive people that, and I'm happy with helping someone else that say, because again, there's people that are 60, there's people like 30 like me, there's people that are like teenagers. We're all working out together. And there's some autistic kids that work out with us too. And I'm just as happy to help them be on the same route of motivation and working towards it. And if we go to competition, cool. And if I win, cool. But I really don't care. Like, I'll be there just to be there, and I'll support everybody else that's there. So live a life of meaning and live a life that is on your terms. And that is what's going to bring you a satisfaction, right? It's going to bring you a comfort, and it's going to bring you meaning, which is going to bring you motivation and joy, because then you won't have to be motivated. You're living the life you want, Just keep on choosing to pick things that are positive, and your life's going to constantly just get better, right? It's going to go in the right direction. But if you don't choose, probably not going to be happy with the results. So I got some more questions here. Trilogy says, I love how honest you are. I realize everything you are saying is facts. Keep on going. You are amazing. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for the positive words and for the likes you guys are doing, the thumbs up and all this stuff, right? I really do appreciate that, and all the likes you guys are doing on my YouTube videos and on Instagram. I'm trying to be like completely honest with you guys, because there's no reasons for fluff, right? There's good stuff, there's bad stuff. My battery's going low. All right, guys, I think we're going to do it for a few more minutes. I got a couple more questions here. I'll answer a couple more questions on there, and then we'll call it a night. So make sure to throw your questions up there so I can see them, so I can answer them because I really want you guys to get as much value as possible. Charles Lynch says, how do you invest in high property tax, high priced markets? Hard to cash flow because of the taxes. Hard to flip because no bank wants to lend. So you don't go to a bank for flipping. You go to a hard money lender, and the hard money lender is going to charge you like 10 to 15%. And they will initially probably ask you to put up like 15 to 20%, but eventually they'll only ask you to put up 10% and only 10% of the renovation budget. So it's not really much out of your pocket, but make sure you can renovate them and flip them for higher money, because that's where your money's at. And then if you do a good job and you buy a property that's in a high tax area, high whatever area, you're going to be in for like, say, $1 million property, right? Let's just say, because you can do it in Florida for like 100,000, but say like in your state it's $1 million. Well, yeah, you're in it, high tax and whatever, but if you're able to take the property that's $1 million and upgrade it and put in like 100,000, but make it worth 1.5 million, if you do a refinance, you're probably going to be able to profit on that deal either by selling it or two, by renting it out, and the payments are going to be a lot lower. So now by using like the BRRRR method on that, you're able to make it profitable in an area that's harder to make a rental profitable, like LA, or New York, or Long Island, or San Francisco or Miami. So you have to be strategic, or you can just invest in other areas, right? There's other markets you can invest in: Arizona, Texas, Florida, Tampa market, Orlando market. There's other places you can invest. In Chicago, it's expensive, but right outside Chicago, it's pretty cheap. So, you have to kind of like be flexible and be a problem solver. If you're able to do that, you're going to find a lot of profitability for what you're doing. So find the little niches and work within it, and then you can carve out. Good question, Charles. Let's see what else. Last question I got here on IG was, what's the advantage of buying property and living in it for a year? Well, advantage of buying a property and living in it for a year, when you sell it, you are not on the short-term capital gains, you're on a long-term capital gains. So instead of paying 35% tax on the profit, you're only paying about 15% tax on the profit. Part two, if you live in it for 2 years and sell it, there is no tax on that profit, because there is up to $250,000 of profit on a primary residence that is not taxed, up to $500,000 of profit for a married couple, no tax if there's profit on that property, up to $500,000. So by doing that, living in it for at least 2 years, there's no tax. A lot of different strategies. Have a good accountant like myself. I do taxes for people all over the country and actually all over the world, and definitely have meetings with him, her, to strategize. And then two, if you just sell the property and you transfer it to another property, saying you're going to use the profits to another deal, that's called a 1031 exchange, and that will, the 1031 exchange will have no tax on that money. So a lot of different ways to do it. Thanks for all the questions, guys. Again, I'm going to give it another second for any other questions that you guys want to throw in the chat. So I want to take this time waiting for any additional questions that might pop up. I want to say, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Send it to your friends, share it. Like the other videos. Please leave comments. Please like and leave comments, because otherwise, the algorithm's not going to really catch the page, and not a lot of the people are going to be able to learn as well. Same thing for the Instagram. Please comment and like and share with your friends. I really do appreciate that. I do read the comments. I do read everything. So it makes me understand that you're learning and you're growing, and it's appreciated. So it makes me want to give more and more to you guys. So thank you again for all the positive energy you guys are putting out there. So Mo Coffee asks, what's better, single family or duplex? So Mo, I am biased. I am a multi-unit guy. And from all the research I've done, you cannot touch the profitability of a multi-unit property, cash flow-wise and resale-wise. So it's hands down the way to go, in my opinion. So run your own numbers, and you're going to see. Cash flow wise, you're not going to be able to touch it. Profitability for resale value, you're not going to be able to touch it. Now, again, if someone's giving away a home like dummy cheap, then yeah, you're going to make good cash on flipping it and good cash on renting it. But I'm talking about in standard average situations, the multi-units are going to do better. Again, but what's most important is location, location, location. You can change a lot of things. You can't change location, right? Be considerate of location. Be considerate where the property is located, right? You can't change the fact that it's next to a graveyard and no one wants to live there if people care about that, right? So be conscious of that. Next question I have is, how should I start building my credit up? I just turned 18, and what banks do you recommend? So Capital One will give anybody a credit card, right? So get 2 credit cards, do that. That's going to be able to build up your credit. Within 6 months, you'll have decent credit. If you know anyone, here's a hack. If your parents will allow you to add you to their credit card. So it's a credit card they've never been late on, have a high available balance, and they don't use it barely at all. So they have $10,000 limit, but they don't even use it. So there's like nothing spent on it. If they add you as a user, and they've had that credit card for 5 or 10 years, you will get all 10 years of credit history, and boom, 720 credit score, like within a month. So there's a hack right there, crazy value. Enjoy it, guys. It's how I got from, at 18, I had a 720 credit score. Works. Charles says, how would you go about starting in out-of-state rental investing? Probably find people you want to syndicate with. That's a good way to do it. By partnering up with someone out of state that you're comfortable with, you could basically give them the money, they add it to their money, and they do all the work, and you get a cut of the profits. So that's a really easy way to do it. Syndications are extremely popular now. Imagine a syndication, kind of like investing in like Berkshire Hathaway, right? You're investing with Warren Buffett. You're giving him the money, and he's buying the stocks for you, and they get a cut from the profits, and you get a cut from the profits. And also they're buying, by their timing and their knowledge, they're usually able to pull significantly higher profits. So even though they're taking a cut, you're still usually making more money on average. That is the concept. So that's that. So do you guys have any other questions for this week's live event? I'm planning to do this every week. So please leave your thoughts on the day and the time and if you liked it or not. How do you scale bringing in management company or do it yourself? I am all in-house. We do the repairs, not myself, but people that work for me, and we property manage in-house and everything. So that is how it works for me, and I did it that way because I was getting paid very little money for where I was working, so it didn't make sense. I could spare my time to manage the properties myself. Now, if you are working in a professional field and making decent money, then it's probably not worth it for you to spend your time property managing. It's probably better off for you to just pay someone to do it. So you got to think the time, what's the value of the time, and then you can come to that decision. So, but again, I have over 30 properties, and I do it in-house. King's mom said, are you saving this video? Yes, I am saving it, and it's going to be uploaded to my live. It's going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel. And I am new to this, so I hope I don't. This is my first time, so I hope I don't screw it up. Wish me luck, right? Thank you, Mo. Thank you as well. All right. Any other question, guys? So Saul says, who or what people, property manager, real estate agent, etc., is in a team? So there's the real estate agent, there's the property manager, there is the construction or handyman. Those are the people that are kind of needed in your team, right? Because especially if you're going to be fixing these properties immediately or over time. I hope I don't lose the video.